Hello, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Between Two Lights, where we talk about the mundane yet important aspects of video production. Today, we're updating our Canon camera's firmware. Let's get into it.
Here we go!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the M1 Gear channel. Today we're updating the firmware of the new Canon EOS C70. Buzz off, fly. The production value here on Between Two Lights is meant to be low. Hence the fly. We've actually added that for production value. So you want to start by going to the Canon webpage. You go up here to the support tab, go to software and drivers, and you want to type in the search for your camera. It comes up very fast when you type in just C70. There we go. Okay, and then you go into drivers and downloads, which is already here, and go to the firmware tab. Now this is brand new camera, so there's only one new firmware update. So we're going to download this. We're on a Mac, so we click on this, select, and I have to click on the disclaimer agreement, and then you click on download. I'm just going to dump this onto the desktop. Now while it's downloading that, I know I'm going to need to format this SD card for this particular camera. So I will add this card to the memory slot here. And I go into the menu button, over to the settings, gear, and initialize media. Go ahead and initialize that memory card. Now I'm recording the screen capture with the C70 using a Ninja field recorder, Ninja video recorder. And what's great about the C70, it has a full-size HDMI out port, so I just plugged it right in with a cable we had laying around. It's super easy. It's a really nice feature as opposed to being a mini. Okay, so it initialized the memory card there. I will need that over here on the computer. And as you can see now, our files have finished downloading. Here is the instruction manual. Make sure you read the instructions before you go through this on your own, but this video should walk you through all the steps you need. So we now need to copy this particular file number, this FIR file, over to the Canon card. So I just drag that over. Now, if I needed to, I haven't done any programming and customization of this particular camera yet, but if I did and I needed to save all my settings, because when you run a firmware update, you erase its memory. Everything starts over, including the date and time. So if I needed to save my settings, I would just come over here into the menu system, go all the way over to the wrench, and then go to the transfer menu, and I would choose save to SD card B. Now that will show up if I put an SD card in there and it would back everything up. I'm not going to do that because I'm about to do a firmware. I also don't need to. I have nothing on here worth saving as far as customization goes. So let's put this card here into slot B. Typically it needs to be in slot B for firmware updates. And now I go into the menu system. I go to the wrench at the end and then all the way down to number 9, and down at the very bottom of that, buried in the menu system, is firmware. And the camera here is lit up because I have a firmware card in the camera. This will be grayed out if you do not have the right file. So if it shows up, it's a good sign, it means you've copied the file correctly. So we're going to go from version 1.001 to version 1.011. Not a big jump here. but still very important. They've just released some nice new features, especially on a brand new camera. It's very important to do your firmware updates in the very beginning. Keep an eye out for those. They release them a little more frequently, work out some of the bugs, and I'm hoping that it actually improves the waveform functionality, brightness. So that will take just a moment to update. Okay, the firmware finally finished updating. It took quite a while here with the C70, but it finally finished. It almost took 5 minutes actually. Came directly to the set date and time screen. So we'll go ahead and enter in our date and time. There's the firmware update screen. After I set the date and time, then it came up with the firmware update screen. Interesting. So that's how you update the firmware on the Canon EOS C70. Make sure you hit the buttons below and you'll receive all the updates on new videos from the M1 Gear channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been another episode of Between Two Lights. See you next time.